Hey guys, I'm Rachel Cruze.
I'm George Kimmel.
And this is
Smart Money Happy Hour.
Cheers, George.
Cheers.
Very refreshing.
Fun for the whole family.
All right. Well, this is the podcast where two friends who happen to be money experts talk about what you're talking about. So everything from pop culture, current events, and money.
And typically, we block out the haters. But today, we are choosing to respond. Will we take the high road? Only time will tell.
We are bringing in the haters
As
for
the
this
kids
episode.
say, do it for the plot.
That's right.
Do it for the story. Do they still? I don't know. Have you
Do
heard
it for
that?
the plot? No. So useful, though.
Thank you.
They have the energy for it because we don't always have the energy for that. But we're going to talk about some of our most controversial topics when it comes to money. People love to hate on them, and that's okay.
The biggest criticisms.
And while we're talking about the hate, we're sipping on a what, George?
This is a mocktail today, and it is called the Roy Rogers, which is why I said it's fun for the whole family, in case you were wondering. The kids can enjoy this one, too.
It kind of it's like a cherry Coke almost.
I feel like a kid again.
Yeah, it's actually delicious. I think it's fun.
So we're going to reveal, a big reveal of our rating, the cost to make it, the recipe at the end of the episode. And that's what we're drowning our sorrows with today as we respond to the haters. We're so brave. Can I just say that? Most people, they're not.
We have so much courage doing this episode.
Fearless. Taylor Swift reference, 10 points.
We are fearless. Thank you.
Not all heroes wear capes. Is that another Taylor Swift song? It feels like it could be.
She probably has
That feels like a line from her.
It's coming. I think it's coming.
Okay, well, before we jump into this episode, you guys might notice that someone else is sitting in producer Lindsay's chair, but no fear. It is my friend and fellow producer for my YouTube channel, Alex.
Alex, we welcome you.
And the
welcome
crowd
you
goes
to
wild.
this safe
So much.
space.
Feel
Lindsay
very welcome.
has chosen.
No hate here.
Lindsay has deserted us in our time of need and is on vacation. And Alex has dutifully stepped in to fill in the gaps and fill some big shoes. So you'll see him for a few episodes here on Smart Money Happy Hour.
That's right. Okay, so for the listeners, George, that don't know, let's just give a quick overview of what we do because it's going to help set the stage.
Ooh, love setting the stage.
This episode because people hate us. Some
Also,
people do.
kind of nerve-wracking to be like, what do I do? Like, what is life?
And I don't think we've ever really done this on this show.
That's true.
Because we just say we're two friends who happen to be money experts.
That's all they know.
Yeah. So we work here at Ramsey Solutions outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Technically, it's Franklin, so it's a little suburb of Nashville, but we're here in Middle Tennessee.
Come visit. I don't know why that was a hashtag, but they can visit us. Like, it's a destination.
Anymore? Franklin is a destination, and so is Ramsey Solutions.
Come see us.
Come see us, yep.
So Ramsey has a lot of different branches. It started as really like a personal finance money company started by your dad, Dave Ramsey, helping people get out of debt, build wealth. And now we have over 1,000 team members here, and we are personalities. So we're kind of the front-facing folks who get to do a whole lot of different stuff, Rachel.
Yes. So again, there's many different departments, everything from we have school curriculum to the media side of our company,
radio
to
and
ELP,
advertising.
our endorsed local provider. So like there's a bunch of different, we call them P&Ls within Ramsey, but the front-facing people are the Ramsey personalities, which George and I are.
And we're focused on money, to be clear.
Yes, George and I specifically. And so we write books and do podcasts, put out content all around helping you become in control with your money. That's one of our big things. Financial peace is kind of one of the slogans around here. We want you to have peace when it comes to your money.
And that comes from Financial Peace University.
Yes, which is our 9-lesson course. So
that we're both in.
We're in,
you can check us out there.
So just again, a lot of content and products and everything around helping people specifically get in control with their money, which means getting out of debt, getting an emergency fund in place, investing in retirement, paying for kids' college, paying off your house, all of it.
Just doling out money advice on the reg.
It's called the 7 Ramsey baby steps. So we talk about that.
And we also speak at live events. And so if you want to see us around the country, we travel a lot and do events. So
while all of our intentions are so pure on helping people with money,
so pure,
we get a lot of pushback. And some people get very mad at us with some of our stances.
Isn't it shocking to you at like what people get offended at?
I mean, some people get really angry. So that's what we're going to talk about this episode. I'm laughing because I'm nervous.
Well, it doesn't hurt my feelings when people say things that are actually true about like my character. I'm like, that's not true. When people are like, I'm like, hey,
That's
maybe
fair.
we shouldn't all use credit cards, and they're like, kill him. I'm like, whoa, that was aggressive. But okay.
That's true. I don't get as offended when they're
But when you
mad.
have a firm stance on anything that you believe in deeply, you're going to get pushback.
That's true. But we have, I would say, a level of confidence, though, because literally millions of people have gone through this and have found such freedom. And what I love about our job, George, and a lot of you listening or watching this podcast, it's everyday people. Like, we're not like the flashy trying to like hit the wealthy celeb market. Like, we want to help everyday people that are going to work, they're making great money, they're paying their bills, they feel a little behind, stressed, they want good for their kids. Like, it is the everyday Americans, and we have helped a lot of people. The content has helped a lot of people. We deliver the content, but that's our heart behind it.
And we've lived it out, too. We actually believe this stuff so much that we do it.
We don't have credit cards.
Wild concept.
We pay for things in cash. We fund retirement, even though it's not fun always to put money away.
I have zero crypto.
No crypto. Yeah. So we really do truly live out what we talk about too. That's
and Rachel, you know my story, but for those that don't, I put a video on my new YouTube channel about this, how I went from broke to millionaire. That was my story. When I started here at Ramsey Solutions 10 years ago, I was an intern, a temp, got an entry-level job, and I was $40,000 in consumer debt. I got out of that. I got an emergency fund. I started investing. I bought a house, and my wife and I paid off our house a few years back. And so we followed it, and we became net worth millionaires over 10 years of following these principles. So I'm just like, I'm normal. I have immigrant parents. Like, I don't have trust funds. You can do this too. And so that's what I love, helping people understand, believe, and then put into action.
For sure. Yep. And my story I was born the year my parents filed for bankruptcy. And so I'm kind of that second generation coming from parents that were very intentional with teaching us about money and growing up knowing. And so now as adults, and being married 13 years with 3 kids, like, truly having the dignity to make day-to-day decisions with our own money and choosing this path. And again, thankfully got a head start in that sense because of having the knowledge and the practice and the behavior from early on was very helpful. So a big passion of mine is people that, they have little ones, little kids. And I'm like, the stuff you're doing now truly does change them, that when they're 20, 21, 22 years old off on their own, they really can start their life then. Like, it's amazing that you can avoid so many money mistakes. Not that we're perfect.
Sure.
But there's power in that.
It's never too late. If you're 40, 50, 60, we still have people who will go, I got out of debt. I retired with dignity.
For sure. Okay, so do you think we convince everyone that we're good people?
I don't think anyone's convinced that I'm a good person, but I'll concede. So let's raise a glass, Rachel, to of haterade here.
Okay.
And the relentless negative Nancys out there, because it's time to invite the skeptics into the chat as we discuss our controversial money advice. Mm-hmm. You ready?
All right.
You kick us off, Rachel.
Do I go
What's
first?
the number one criticism that you get when it comes to your money advice?
The number one hate that I for sure get is when I tell married couples to combine their finances.
The audacity.
People get so
Rachel.
angry with me, George. Oh.
So people are comfortable sharing DNA and a bed,
a baby,
but not an account that holds money.
No.
They go, not on my watch. Don't tread on me, Rachel.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
What's behind that?
I'll say a lot of it probably comes from a lot of pain. Someone's been taken advantage of in a divorce situation, right? They've come from a family history where there's a lot of brokenness financially, and they really feel the need to protect themselves. Like, I do think that it comes from a level of probably trueness in their story. But even with that, though, we just see when you are married, when you combine everything and say, we are one and we're going to work as the same team, you just win with money faster. You really do. And then on top of that, or underneath that even, is a level of intimacy that is built. When you are fully transparent with your spouse on every part of marriage, let me say, which is very scary.
Sure.
And not always fun. But the more you are of that in marriage, I just think the richer your marriage is. So I still push for it because I think on a tactical level, it's easier to handle money when you're working out of one account. But then it does something to the relationship when you say, you're not going to, you pay this bill, I pay that bill, and you're acting almost like roommates.
It's very petty.
It is. And you end up running on these two separate tracks versus saying, hey, if we combine everything and we're one and we're working as a team. Somebody gave us this picture years early on in our marriage, and I loved it. They're like, if you ever have an issue, put the issue out there and like stand beside each other, right? Metaphorically. But it's like that's the issue out there. It's not you
versus me.
And don't put it in the middle of you. Put it out there. And when you look at money like that, it's like, yeah, if you're a married couple, like those are our problems. Like we want to fund retirement and there's not enough in there. That's the problem. Or we're drowning in debt. That's the problem. And so how do you and I together do that? I mean, not you and I, George.
Sure.
We're not married. We're married to other people. But do you know what I'm saying?
But we have joint bank accounts with our spouses. And I
Yes.
thought, like, this is normal. Like, people don't do this. And then I found out.
I know.
People are like, well, we have one account that's for, like, the shared bills, and we have our savings, and then we each have our personal accounts. So it's my money. I get to say what. And so then I went, well, why don't you talk about the trust issues you have with each other? If she's going, you can't spend your money that way. Have a conversation about
Yes.
it instead of brushing it under separate rugs.
That's it too, right? So an issue comes up and it's like, well, we'll fix the issue by separating so we don't have to deal with the issue. And in marriage, George, deal with the issue.
Yes.
Trust me, deal with the issue. Go in therapy, like do
people are
the
worried,
work.
like, I'm going to lose my sense of independence and self and
Yeah.
autonomy.
And what I would say is have a line item in your budget that is yours. Like Winston has one and he goes and gets rocks at Home Depot and does something in the, I don't know,
That man
whatever he
loves
does.
rocks.
And then I need to go get my nails done. So I'm going to go do this.
But there's
week,
no
right?
judgment, right? Like when it's your
No.
personal Rachel category.
Yes, go do
Winston's
what you
not
want
like
to
you
do.
spend it on what?
No, because
That's
you
the
have
fear.
it's
They go, I don't want to have to ask for permission when I go spend
it's
my
the dollar
money.
amount that you agree upon, and then you go. So that is
word.
one though, man. And
a good word.
people are angry about it, but
Okay.
haters gonna hate. But I'm okay with that. George, give me yours that you get eaten alive when
Oh
it comes
my
to the
gosh.
internet.
This one like went viral, like millions of views on me saying that it is cheaper to eat at home than eating out. And my stat was like average cost of a meal, $13 eating out, average cost of a meal at home, $4. And so I went, you're
People
willing
got
to
so
spend
mad, and
over
people got
yeah. You're willing
angry.
to spend
Why?
3
Because
times
of your
more.
math? What were they mad at you
Because
for?
they're like, this guy's an it. When's the last time he went grocery shopping? 1992? And I went, bro, you don't even know my grocery shopping game, okay? Don't come at me with that.
Don't come at me.
And so I did a video on my YouTube channel breaking it down. I went shopping. I showed literal receipts from Trader Joe's and Costco and broke it down into servings and went, look at that. It's under $4 per serving.
Isn't that funny?
So people didn't understand, number one, what a serving is. They thought I was leaving the grocery store with a $4 receipt,
Oh,
which tells me
Yeah.
about their IQ level. So that tells you something about the haters.
it's more about them than it is about you.
But then the
George.
other piece was they were like, well, with inflation, it's so much cheaper eating out. Like, groceries are so insane. I'm like, do you not think that restaurants have to buy groceries to make their food? And do you not think they're passing on that cost to you, the consumer? Do you think that it's actually cheaper? Now, what they're really
No.
saying is, I'm too lazy to cook and I'm not good at meal planning and shopping. That's really what they're
I
saying.
could be saying that.
Now, I can't call that out because they will implode, Rachel.
Yes, they will.
It's like, duh. And so
Yeah, people do get mad about food. That's
but
a thing. I agree.
It's just basic math. And everyone that actually cooks at home, they're like, oh yeah, he's right.
They
And the
know.
people that don't cook at home are like, you can't do that. So that's kind of most of our advice. The people who don't actually do it are the ones who have issue with it.
Oh, good tagline, George. Good tagline.
Terrible
okay,
tagline,
up
but-
next. Whew. Credit
right.
cards.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we are anti-credit cards for the record because we just believe in spending your own money. Don't use the bank's money, even for your everyday monthly purchases. Just use your money. Just use your money so you don't have a bill because you end up spending more on a credit card. I think, too, you're just involved in this, like, toxic game of, like, points and all this because other people
Well, I'm hoping for
can't.
2% with the chance that I risk 20% interest.
Yes.
That's just stupid odds.
Yeah. So just, we're all about, and you can rent a car, you can travel, you can do all the things with a debit card. Now, sometimes there's like a little hoop, right? Not all rental car companies will take your debit card. So you need to call ahead. So there's some planning, but we travel all the time
You know what
and
the
we're
bigger
fine.
hoops are? Playing the credit card game. I was watching a
Yeah.
video and it was like 9 steps to use a credit card the right way, and then you want to transfer it to the zero balance, but then you got to utilize this much of your
lot.
credit card limit in order to get your credit score up. And I went, they think we're insane? Like, do they not understand? This is ridiculous.
I
Well, we've all
know.
just been raised to believe that like credit cards have better fraud protection. False. Yes, it is your money with a debit card, but the bank replaces it. There's the similar protections in place
Yes.
to protect your money. And then the other thing is the credit score. And we've realized, oh, you don't need a credit score to survive. You can rent cars and hotels and even buy houses
Yes.
without a credit score.
So the whole like system, you can get around without a credit card. And let me just tell you, I think there is something so freeing when I go and whether it's shopping or we do go out to eat, right? And you go to a restaurant, like, and you swipe the debit card, the money leaves the account and you're done.
It's done.
And it's over.
I don't have to
And you
think about it a month from now.
and you keep on moving on with life. So living in the present is really big because you make different decisions financially when you do that. So against credit cards, but man,
And
we get a
found
lot of
that
hate.
The key to building wealth for me was when I actually cut up my cards, not when I was using it and trying to like game the system.
Right.
It was when I just went, I'm going to use my own money. And then I treated that money differently.
Yes.
And I just made my own reward system by like, saving up for stuff. And I was like, wow, I got $2,000 just by not being an idiot.
Because people do pay off their card every month and get the airline miles, right? Like they do play the game. And for some people,
The miles are confusing. It's like, you have 30,000 airline miles. Like, great, I can fly anywhere. Like, no, you have a one-way to Boise with 30,000 airline miles.
yeah,
They're not road
but
miles.
companies like Southwest, I mean, there are some that is a plug and play.
Sure, but they confuse you with points and miles now instead of like actual dollars amounts.
Yes, now that is true. Yes,
I have
for
a
sure.
million points.
But my point is like, even if you play the game and you get the benefit of the airline ticket, you still statistically spend 12 to 18% more on a credit card. Like your emotions are detached, and that's the science. We're speaking science here. Follow the science.
Hey, here's my challenge to any of you who still use a credit card. Try using a debit card for 30 days and then track how much you spend differently. And I guarantee it's going to be less.
All right, up next, George, we have the $1,000 starter emergency fund. People get very mad about this because they say $1,000 is not enough.
So this is the first step in the Ramsey baby steps.
Yeah.
Baby step 1, save $1,000 in a starter emergency fund. Every other dime other than your buffered in your checking account should go towards paying off debt.
Yes.
And people freak out.
Yes. And so, listen, the $1,000 emergency fund, honestly, it's not meant to be enough. Like, it's not. Like, it will not cover everything. And we know that. So what do? Well, you pause the debt snowball if you're in baby step 2 to go and fix the emergency when it happens.
If you have an emergency over $1,000.
Over $1,000.
Which we found most emergencies actually are under $1,000.
Yes.
In your mind, you spiral into like, well, what if the HVAC goes out? Sure, that's a possibility.
Right.
More realistically, it's like, oh, I got a flat tire. I got to pay for a $300 tire.
Figure it out. Yes. But that urgency, though, is one of the things that kind of fuels people to get out of debt faster. So,
because you realize, oh, I'm not safe. If I owe $60,000 and I have
Yes.
$10,000 in my bank account, I'm not safe.
and the other point of the $1,000 emergency fund is we want you to do it quickly because this is the first step in a process of change for you. And if you really do choose to engage in this, we do as the teachers in it, like we want you to have a quick win. And if we're like, you got to save $10,000, you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me forever to do that first step. So getting that first step done to move on to pay off debt, there's a behavior change that occurs that is really big when it comes to winning with money, you guys.
Momentum is key.
Behavior is a big part of this. It's not just the numbers and the math. It's that momentum.
So it takes most people 30 days on average for baby step 1.
Yep.
Which is amazing. If you can do something in under 30 days, you're like, I'll keep going.
Oh yeah. I mean,
right.
Sell stuff, work out, do what you got to do. Get that $1,000 quick.
Love it. Okay, next up, Rachel, on the controversial advice list, paying off debt from smallest to largest balance and ignoring the interest rate.
I know.
The audacity.
Yes. So people get very mad about this.
They're like, do you not understand math, Rachel?
Because mathematically, we are incorrect. You're right. If we are doing math.
On paper, you might pay less interest.
Yeah, on paper, you would pay off the highest interest rate first. Mathematically, that is correct. But as we said earlier, we're not talking about math here, y'all. We're talking about behavior change.
That's what's up.
And what got you into this mess was not a math problem. It was a you problem.
Tell them.
And a you problem and a me
Tell 'em.
problem. So we got to fix us first. Like it's the people that are managing the money that need to be fixed, not just the money. And so when you get these quick wins, when you get that momentum, that's when you see change.
And this works whether you have $30,000 of debt or $300,000 worth of consumer debt.
Yes.
Smallest to largest. That's what kept me going on the plan. I was like, I knock one out. I freed up a payment.
Feels great.
I can use that plus all the other margin towards the next debt. And you actually see the light at the end of the tunnel instead of trying to take down the mountain first.
Yeah, and there was actually a study done between the debt snowball, which is what we teach, smallest to largest, or the debt avalanche, which is highest interest rate to lowest interest rate. And people actually got out of debt faster using the debt snowball.
Listen, avalanches are scary. Snowballs are fun. I'm choosing the snowball every time.
Get in that snowball fight, George.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, next is helping out adult kids / grandkids financially.
Ooh. Okay, this one's a little different.
It's a little nuanced because here's my advice.
Define helping out.
Well, and here's what I would say for me. This is the advice I would give. I don't know. Maybe we differ on this. But I think if it's for a season or a time or a specific situation and you choose to help your kids when you financially are able to, I don't see that as bad. When it becomes a pattern and you're enabling the same behavior from your child that can't get ahead and you just keep funding that does more damage to the child than them having to learn and figure it out.
Yes.
But I'm like, maybe I'm a millennial, but I'm like, I'm not angry if someone moves home for a few months. An adult child has to move home for a few months to kind of get on their feet, figure out a new lease for an apartment. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I mean, maybe,
I'm not rigid with this one.
Maybe you're a millennial. Maybe it's Maybelline. We don't know. But I will say there is a line between enabling and being generous.
And what is that, George?
I don't think you should ever loan your kids money. Never co-sign for debt for your family members, whether it's kids, grandma, I don't care. It changes the relationship when you owe money to a family member. And family relationships are too precious to destroy over money. Because if you like owe money to your parents and they see you and Winston go on vacation.
Oh, I know.
And you still owe them money, all of a sudden Thanksgiving dinner just got real awkward.
It's weird.
And so if you want to give money to your kids, gift it.
Yes.
Gift it.
And I've had friends in this situation, and it is, or like the parent's like, oh yeah, well just do this and we'll pay you back or whatever, and the parent never. I mean, it can go both ways. Yeah. So it's just weird.
And if family asks you for money, you've got to have the boundaries. If you don't feel good about it, to just gift it, to just say no.
Yes.
If you know it's going to enable bad behavior, they're not in a good spot financially, they're not really wanting to change, they just want a shortcut. I don't feel good about giving someone the money to do something dumb or risky.
That's right. So that's a tough one. Okay, the last one, George, is cars.
Oh.
We encourage people to pay cash for cars, which may mean
and used cars.
It's
if you're not
a
millionaire.
used car, which is not great. And people, they just the safety comes out.
I've never seen people who are like, Rachel, the safety and reliability. Are you trying to kill your family on the road? How do you not drive a brand new vehicle?
I know that used cars are like.
You know what your new car turns into when you drive it off the lot? A used car.
I know.
You know what can still burn up in flames? Your new car.
And what's funny to me is I'm like, cars that are over 100,000 miles, it's obviously a really good car because
that's what I'm saying.
It's a really decent car because it's still going.
It's got a great track record so far.
Yes, I know. So I don't know. So this is a big one.
I think people use safety and reliability to justify the flex of I want a new car to look good.
Yes.
But they're doing it under the guise of like, well, I just care about safety, Rachel.
Can I say, out of all the debt we talk about, car loans, it's the one that makes me like...
It's the dumbest
It
type
hangs
of debt.
my head. My head hangs.
Tell 'em why.
Well, it's the toughest because you're paying interest on something that's going down in value. And in the book, The Psychology of Money, great book, he said it perfectly. He was like, it's the ego that stands in the way for a lot of people in their car.
Yes.
Because your car says something
It's a
about
status
you.
symbol.
Yes. It's supposed to just get you from point A to point B, but we've created this world where cars are a thing. And we like cars. We both have a Tesla.
Yes.
Like
we both paid cash for our cars.
we did, yes. So we're not against nice cars, but
And we're not even against new cars. But there's just a time and place for it.
$600 for a car payment. If you have two of those, that's $1,200 a month going out in a car, where if you invested that and let your money work for you versus working for the bank, like, it's a mathematical thing to me.
Yeah. And most people now, I feel like, want the SUV, the truck, which just gets astronomically expensive so quick.
Yep. So
And they're used to payments, so they just go, well, if I can afford the payment, who cares? I'm like, well, you're actively saying, I don't want to build wealth. I'm happy to make bad decisions to look good. That's what you're really saying.
I know.
And so I know it's hard because you're like, you may not be that person. You're like, I'm not doing it for ego. I really want safety and reliability. Get a pre-purchase inspection and get a reliable brand.
Yes.
Actually research and go, okay, the Camrys, the Civics, the Accords, whatever.
Right.
Reliable brands that can go over 100,000 miles and buy what you can afford
And a good minivan
in cash.
In cash.
We love a minivan.
A used minivan.
We love an Odyssey.
Yeah. Listen, I put my pride aside every time I drive my Odyssey.
Listen.
I die a little bit inside, but it's the best.
I got in producer Alex. You have a Honda Odyssey, Alex?
Sure do.
You do too, Alex?
Yeah.
What year is
you
it?
know that?
What year is it?
2011.
That thing's got some baller features on it.
I'm telling you.
The doors are electric. It's got the screen. It's got everything a boy could want.
I do die. It's a minivan. Like, I
Sure.
acknowledge it every time I
Swallow
get in. I
your
say,
pride.
I'm getting into a minivan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm choosing to drive. But it is like a parent sat in that driver's seat and said, what do I need?
Yes.
And it's all
I'm
there.
all about practicality.
It's the passenger's experience.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And
So,
you can do that.
anyways.
Like, if you want a nice car, okay, get the version of that car, but 10 years older. Like, that's what I did with my Tesla.
Yeah.
I was like, I want a Tesla. I can't afford a brand new Tesla. So I'm going to find one that's older.
That's right.
Still reliable.
So good.
It's possible.
All right, George. So that's all the controversial money advice that we give.
Oh,
So
gosh, that was
Kimmel,
exhausting.
Jimmy Kimmel does a segment on his
Mean
show.
tweets.
Are you ready for this, George?
We're going to do it.
We got some mean tweets ahead.
I'm kind of nervous.
Okay,
the team chose these. We don't really know what's coming here.
Okay, you go first, George.
All right, here we go. We're going to channel our inner T Swift here and just shake it off, Rachel. All right?
Shake it off.
So many Taylor references. Wow. She loves writing songs about the critics.
It's so good.
Okay. This was a comment about me. I give 2 stars because this is the segment that fits them both. George routinely gives bland and at times bad advice on the Ramsey. His personality comes off smug and really not someone I would want to hang out with or have a cocktail with.
Oh, George.
Well, that's a shame because this person sounds like a real peach who's fun at parties. So I'm real bummed that I'll never get to hang out with this person and have a drink with them.
Oh my gosh.
Is that I mean,
Oh man.
do you think I give bland and at times bad advice?
No, I think you're fine.
I guess bland advice is like invest 15% into your 401k. That's bland.
it could be bland.
Bad advice, I've been known to tell people to sell their horse, which horse people would say is bad
They
advice.
get so mad at you at that.
You were on that show.
That was bad.
Okay.
Okay.
You're next.
Oh, well, it's about my husband. It's even about me. It says, is there a more wealthier person's name than Winston?
Okay, that's true and funny. Show me a broke Winston. Prove to me that they're out there. Even like
He comes from a hardworking family.
if a dog is named Winston, like that
which
dog
always
has
happens.
money.
Which always happens.
And they're
It's a
always
dog
like,
name.
it's a French bulldog.
It's a
like it's a
dog name.
fancy dog.
It's a dog name.
Wow.
That's so funny.
Okay, I'm next.
Okay, go.
Does anyone else feel like George is very hard to tolerate? Asking for a friend. I'm pretty sure producer Lindsay submitted this one. Now, this one I actually agree with. Like, if I wasn't me, I wouldn't be able to tolerate me. I'm a lot. But you know the old quote, Rachel? If someone says you're too much, maybe they're not enough. And I live by that motto. I do the most so everyone else can do less. And that's a burden. It's a cross that I bear daily. But that's the gifting that I was given from the Lord above. Do you feel that way? From a toleration standpoint.
Gosh.
Are you
I had
okay?
a drink and I couldn't.
It hit the wrong way.
No, I just couldn't.
I feel like at times even my wife would say you're hard to tolerate.
Oh,
You know?
well, George,
It's
for the
fine.
hour we work with every week, I think you're
Rachel
fine.
can withstand me for 1 hour and that's it. That's the
Okay.
limit. That's why we only record one a week. It's too much.
Okay, the next one. Gosh, mine are kind of nice because I think it includes
Well,
you.
it must be nice, Rachel.
It says, they are not money experts, but they are entertaining. So it wasn't even like Rachel. So there you go, George.
I'll take
You're in that one. Yeah, that's not
Now, here's the thing. Obviously, we use the word expert. An expert can mean a lot of things.
Yes.
We are not certified financial advisors. We
No,
don't actually choose
we actually
mutual
send you to
funds.
those people.
But the word expert is so loosey-goosey today's
I
world.
know.
All right, my next one. More inane babble from people I don't want to see on my feed. Who cares? 3 question marks. Do you have no regard for punctuation? 1 was sufficient. 1.
Okay, I don't get the next one. Rachel is a female Tyler
Durden.
Durden.
I Googled this one. Tyler Durden is the character in Fight Club. Played by Brad Pitt. But let me read you. I was like,
Why? What does that even mean?
so I Googled Rachel.
Am I
Tyler
mean?
Durden personality.
Is that a mean person? He's mean?
Tyler.
He's not even real.
Get this. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a movie character. Here are his traits.
Okay.
Tyler is manipulative, selfish, hypocritical, and most importantly, a danger to society. He also, by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, we find out he's schizophrenic with split personalities. But then I also found out
thought he wasn't
that at
real.
the end of the movie, we learn that his plan is to erase debt by destroying buildings containing credit card records. And I went, maybe that's what they're talking about. Rachel wants to erase the debt of America.
Yes, I do.
That's the only
By burning
connotation
the
I can
credit
think
card
of as to
companies.
why you are like Tyler Durden.
That is so funny.
There you go.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, next up. George Kamel is such a Chad.
What is that?
I had to look up Chad, and it got dark real quick. There's many definitions. Here's the only one that I found that I think makes sense. It originally meant It doesn't make sense, actually. An attractive, charismatic man who is successful with women. Have you seen my track record? But to people here, it has come to mean any man who can attract a partner at all. But really, I think it just means any guy you don't like, he's a Chad.
Chad, you're such a Chad.
To me, it sounds like very Nickelbacky.
The next one is for
Chad
you, though.
Kroger.
Ready for this?
All right.
George is so funny and sexy to listen to. Better than Dave himself.
I couldn't pay someone to leave a review that nice.
5-star rating. Wow.
There's a lot of adjectives that have been used to describe me. I don't think sexy has ever made the cut.
You got that one, George. That's not a mean tweet. That is take that. Put that in your pipe.
Thank you so much. You know what? I don't want Dave to feel down if he's listening to this. Okay. Dave, sex appeal is not a competition. We're all worthy in the eyes of God. Ew. We're all beautiful in our own way. And that will be edited out because there are children listening, Rachel. Do you have no regard that this is a family show? Do you not care at all that like 7-year-olds are listening going, Mommy, what is that?
I didn't do anything. You did it.
You read the comment.
Oh, I did. That's fair.
The burden was on you in a court of law.
I will take it. Oh, George. Well,
that was fun.
Haters gonna hate.
And we shake it off, Rachel.
We shake it off.
Because
that's right.
we got people to help. Like, I want to help people build wealth and avoid the traps out there, become millionaires. And I'm not going to let some comment section or a negative podcast review just crush me.
Do you tell yourself that like every morning?
It's in my contentment journal, the Rachel Cruze contentment journal. It's on my bathroom mirror. But Whitney would say, like, no, the comment section does affect you. But I have a dark curiosity, and I'm like, I'm like you. I'm like a troll that has overcome. So I want to help them overcome their troll-like behavior.
Well, there's George's fortune cookie message to everyone. That's what I feel like that is. And it's almost the end of the episode, George.
Which we're happy about.
End every episode with Guilty as charged. And this is where our producer, usually Lindsay, but today Alex,
guest producer,
gives us a new Guilty as Charged question every week. And if we are guilty, we have to take a sip. Alex?
All right. This is a great one. Have you ever pretended to be sick or any other excuse to avoid going out with friends and spending money?
Oh, that's a good one. I've done it for worse or less. Not even money involved, just because I don't want to do it. Money is like lower on the list of why
I don't know if I have done it.
I can't think of a specific
thing. It's normally I'm sick and I don't want to tell people I'm sick to still go out and see people.
Now I will say like my
it's the opposite.
I lie about not being sick. Like, I'm fine. I'm still here though, and I'm so excited to be here.
Nice.
There's been like trips that friends take or festivals, concerts where I feel like the pressure of like, hey, we're all going, man, you in? Like, we're going to go on this trip. There was a trip to like Napa. And Michael Reddish was going, our mixologist. And that I was single. And the trip was like, it was a very nice Napa trip.
Yeah.
It was thousands and thousands of dollars. And I wanted to go, but I was like, I have obligations. Prior obligations.
That I'm not able to attend.
I'm unable to attend this event. So I do it more often than not.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times
I really don't do that because I'll find a way to go.
Really? Love will find a way.
Not a trip to Napa. I mean, that's a big deal.
But just going out with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I think my friends love me enough and know me enough to know that it's not my speed. So they've learned.
It's good.
That I don't love just going out and blowing a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Now, a nice meal, I will do that.
It's nice. It's good. All right. Well, you're guilty. I'm not, so I'm not going to take a sip.
All right,
but we are drinking a what? A Roy Rogers? Mm-hmm. Is that what it is?
It's a mocktail called the Roy Rogers. And I think you're a little closer, Rachel. Maybe not. I'm closer.
It's very sweet. I will say that.
It is very sweet, and I'll tell you what's in it, and it'll explain it. It's straight up Coca-Cola, grenadine syrup, and maraschino cherries.
Yeah.
So it's very simple, very sweet. It's why kids love it.
Yes, children
It's
love
like candy.
this.
It does taste like a really nice cherry Coke flavor.
It does.
But here's the best part. It comes out to 97 cents per glass.
Well, there you go.
So
Very
fun
nice.
for the whole family. Make a picture of it. Huh. Parents can spike it if you want to.
Have fun. Oh my gosh.
While the kids enjoy their version.
So great.
But the recipe's in the show notes. Give it a try this weekend. I'm going to give it, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It's very sweet, and I'm not like a big Coke fan.
I know.
I know you love a Diet Coke.
I do like a Diet Coke. This is like a lot of flavor, a lot of sweetness.
I wouldn't choose it, but it's hard to say that it's not a good drink.
Yeah.
You're drinking
We'll go
Coke.
5 out of 10. It's
All
fair.
right, 5 out of 10.
Roy Rogers.
Recipe in the show notes. Let us know what your kids think of it. That'll be fun.
Yep. And make sure you guys to subscribe to this podcast because next Thursday, every Thursday, there's a new episode. And make sure to leave a review. It's very helpful when it comes to
And if you are a hater,
algorithm.
skip it. Go do something else with your time.
That's right. We just like the great reviews. So you leave that because we read them, appreciate them, and it helps the podcast get out to more people.
All right.
Well, George, I guess we'll see everyone next Thursday on a new episode of Smart Money Happy Hour.